Hey everybody, I'm Bill, this is David, this is Jennings, and we're the New to Bourbon guys. Thanks for being here, we're glad you're here today. Today, we're talking about glasses. We know other folks have probably had conversations about glasses, but we're gonna talk to you today about ours, what we like, what we don't like, why we like them, and we're gonna talk about the ones that are sitting here in front of us. Guys, we're going to talk about these, right? So we've got, Jennings, you want to tell us about your little glass here?
So I've got these little taster glasses. They were super cheap, and I don't know, man, it's just something about them. They got a nice heavy bottom to them. They're hard to break. I'm pretty clumsy. I drop stuff all the time. So it's something nice I don't have to worry about. But it's a little bit wider than a shot glass, and it's shorter than a shot glass. But I don't know, we were talking about it earlier. We've talked about it, before. It funnels the smells up different than a Glencairn. It doesn't get stuck on my nose like a Glencairn. Everybody's got their own thing they like, right? But these are great. And I'll tell you what, when we do tastings at the house with the friends, I pull these out and I have 12 of these, and I'll put them out and I'll put the bourbon in each one, and it just takes all the variation from the different glasses out. You're tasting the same glass every single time. So you can really tell, like, oh, I really like this one. Well, then when you go by at the store and take it to your house, it'll probably taste different in your glass, but you at least know that, hey, I like this. So these are fun for me. It's something different, something small. I can put a bunch in a bag, go to an event or something like that, neighbor's house for a party, whatever. So it's fun. So this is what I like. So. And then what do you like?
That's got the heavy bottom too.
Yeah,
it does. You can hear it.
I feel like there's a Queen song parody in there.
Yeah, there definitely is.
Fat bottom glasses, maybe.
Yeah, fat bottom glasses. That's a new one. We can write that.
Yeah.
No copyright needed.
All right, so we've got some other glasses up here. I've got a couple that came from the distilleries. You can see this is the Lux Row glass, and this is one from Bardstown Bourbon Company. This is a really cool glass, a little bit rounded on the bottom, but it's a heavy glass. It's heavily weighted on the bottom. Next is just a standard square rocks glass. David, you're drinking out of a round rocks glass tonight. Heavy, you like the weight on those, don't you?
Fat bottom glasses.
That's it, man.
Indeed.
Something that's heavy and something that's sturdy. Don't want to knock it over. Don't want to spill any really good bourbon. You always want to drink it.
And this is another one that I have. This is one of my friends gave me these as a set. It was for my birthday or something like that. But we keep these at the house. My wife drinks out of these. I like them. They're heavy. They're crystal. They're thick once again, so I'm not dropping them, breaking them, or sitting up in the glass and they're touching other stuff and breaking the rims when I'm washing them, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and then similar to that is this glass here. So we found this set of glasses that has a kind of a gold band on it. Again, it's a rocks glass. It's etched glass, similar to the glass that you've got. Heavily weighted bottom compared to some of the others. And again, you drink out of what you enjoy drinking out of, what you like to drink out of. So,
well, I think that if you really want to boil it down, the best philosophy about a bourbon glass is the best bourbon glass is the one you have with you. That has bourbon in it.
Yeah, the one that's got bourbon in it.
Drink it the way you like it.
Yeah.
And then we've talked in the past about other types of glasses, but this is technically a Glencairn, right? And it's a fat one. It's not one of these little small guys like this. It's a big one, right?
Yeah, let's hold this up. So
doesn't have a stem.
See the difference.
See the difference there. It doesn't have a stem on the bottom. It doesn't have a lander. It's just a small, or it's a larger Glencairn than that one, but you can get my nose in there, can actually smell it. I don't know. I like these. Everybody's got their own thing though,
Yeah, and so shout out to the Stave and Thief Society. If you're not a member or haven't done anything or seen anything about the Stave and Thief Society, they're the experts on bourbon. So anything that we kind of go through and talk to you guys about from how bourbon's made or anything like that, we get our information from them. Great organization, Moonshine University. You can learn more about them on their website. They're great folks. So Glencairns, we've talked about this before. I don't like drinking out of Glencairns. Nope. I like drinking out of this. This is a Norland glass. It's a double wall. The shape inside is very similar to what a Glencairn is. The difference is pouring or drinking out of this glass for me is much easier. This, I feel like I'm having to throw my head so far back just to get the bourbon out of the glass.
I think it misses some of your nose too when you do that.
It does. I don't like the way that feels. So that's why I don't like drinking out of Glencairn glasses. And then finally, the good old standard shot glass. I know some folks that drink bourbon just for the buzz, and they drink out of a shot glass. This is about 2.5 ounces, and they'll have 3 or 4 of these. So It's all whatever you want. So we want you to enjoy bourbon, drink it the way you want it, enjoy it, and share it with your friends. So that's why we're here, and that's what we're going to talk about more today. So let's pour something. You guys want to start with the Old Forester 1910 or the Toasted Barrel from Elijah Craig?
Let's go and do this 1910. So and this is pretty standard. You can find this on the shelves anywhere. It's 50, 60 bucks.
Great bourbon.
93 proof, so it's not going to burn your tongue up. It is an older style whiskey, so it does have a lot more flavor to it. This is a good one if you're getting into bourbon to have around the house.
Absolutely.
It's something that you can give to most folks that have had bourbon in the past, and they're like, I don't really like bourbon, but it's okay. And you give them some of this, and they're like, that's delicious. So this is one that you can grab off the shelves pretty easy. I would definitely grab one of these. So.
Yeah, and even if you're going over to somebody's house and they've invited you over for a party and you want to take bourbon instead of a bottle of wine, 1910, 1920 from Old Forester are solid bourbons that you can take anytime. Know that you're taking a great bottle of bourbon and know that it'll be enjoyed by everybody that has it.
That's right.
It will not disappoint.
It never disappoints. Good old 1910.
You know, and as you get further in your bourbon journey, as they call it, your taste buds kind of change on what you like and don't like, right? It's kind of with everything. And so when you're drinking these, for example, when you first start out, they're really good usually. And then 7 years from now, it's still really good. So it's one of those bottles like, don't feel bad for buying this. You know, $60 maybe more than you want to spend on one, but it's worth trying. It's definitely worth trying. Have some friends over and grab one of these and try it out. So
Cheers.
cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah, Brown Foreman, the maker of Old Forester, also owns Jack Daniels. And one of the things you can find, here's from the Stave and Thief Society. In the back of the book, the Bourbon Steward book, they give you all the distillers, all the things that they make. I'm sure they update this on a regular basis, so if you ever need to know where it is or who
There you
makes
go.
it, it's right here. Check it out, Stave and Thief Society. Again, great folks, great information, and you can always find that on their website.
This is delicious.
It is.
Now I'll tell y'all right off the bat, when you taste it out of your glasses you've got there, it's good.
You get a little hug, a little bit.
Oh, definitely.
It's not bad.
Definitely has that old. It's got a viscous taste and thickness to it that's nice.
Yeah.
It's different than other bourbons you have out there. It's good.
It's one of my favorites.
And it'll taste different too out of these different glasses. So I'm going to take this. I'll put in this regular rocks glass, right?
Let's see if I can't pour into a Glencairn here and just see what the difference is. You mind if I just
No,
glass?
go for it.
Totally different smell. Probably tastes the same, but it's a totally different smell.
What's the nose do to you?
It tones it down a little bit.
Changes it.
I agree. This one, it's like you lose some of that smell when you go to tip it up. It's like it misses your nose.
Now, I don't know if this is the reason why you don't prefer these glasses, but I do find it, at least for my hand, a little bit less comfortable to hold, which, I mean, that,
It's awkward.
With your description, I mean, that sounds like maybe, is that the number one reason you don't like it, or is it something else?
It's not as much how to hold.
That right there.
That right
That's
there.
what he
You see
hates.
how far back you have to, I mean,
Yeah.
it's, to me, it's just not comfortable.
Right.
I mean, I want to sit back and just enjoy drinking, and it's uncomfortable for me to drink that.
Bourbon's fun because there's all these different paths you can take with it, right? And one of those is you can really start to taste and really smell differences.
I
with different
prefer
types
the
of
nose
glass.
on the Glencairn for sure. I just
Prefer the nose, right? But drinking out of it is not fun.
But drinking out of it is not as good of an experience as a nice heavy rocks glass or
And
something.
a lot of it's what you're used
It's
to.
all it all comes down to what your preference is, what you
Sure.
enjoy. Again, we talk about it all the time. Enjoy enjoy drinking the way you want to drink it. We haven't put ice in any of these yet. If you want to put ice in it, you want to mix it, however you want to drink it, enjoy bourbon the way you want to. There are a lot of folks that will talk about, oh, if you do this, it's not the right way to drink bourbon. Drinking bourbon is the way you want to do it. It's to enjoy, it's to sit down and relax with, it's to share with your friends, and enjoy doing what we're doing right now. You're just hanging out and having conversation, spending time with you guys, and enjoying bourbon.
Talked about putting ice in it sometimes or water. To me, I don't even know that it's bourbon specific always as to whether or not I put ice in it. I think sometimes it's just a mood that I'm in.
I'm the same way.
Some days I like an ice cube, And other days I don't. And it doesn't even necessarily change with the bourbon. I think it changes with my mood, and even sometimes the proof that I prefer on a particular day. Sometimes I want something a little higher, sometimes I want it lower.
So I'll give you an example. So we were tasting the 1910. That's the 1920. It's 115 proof. So it's a big step up from the 93 proof of the 1910 to the 115 proof here. So if I'm going to go out and pop this and have a glass of this as my first drink of the night, it's too heavy. It's too hot. I mean, I want to relax. I want to relax. I don't want to get hammered, right? So for me, putting an ice cube in there, put a big ice cube in it. I keep make ice trays for. I've got a small round ice cube. I've got a large round ice cube, and I've got a square ice cube. I like using the square ice cube if I'm using my square rocks glass, because it fits in there real nicely and it fills it up. And then when I do my pour, it looks nice and even. You can use some regular ice cubes out of your refrigerator. I make my ice cubes just because I like to do it, and it's fun. So,
while we're on ice cubes, Bill, what water do you use to make your ice?
I use a zero filter water filter.
Okay.
So I take all the impurities out of my water, and I just use that. Yeah, I don't boil it. I don't double do filter, whatever it is. I just use straight zero water filtered water, and I make my ice cubes out of that. I don't care how clear they are. I just want them to be pure and not affect the taste of the bourbon. That's what's important to me.
David and I have a friend of ours that uses Berkey water. If you've heard of Berkey, it's this big filter stand. It's obnoxious. Makes great water.
It really is great.
It's really good.
It really is great.
He makes his big cubes out of that. It makes a difference.
It does make a difference. And when we had bourbon at his house not too long ago, it did make a difference, I got to say.
Yeah, I think that's what I like about the zero water. It takes all the impurities out.
You get nothing in it.
There's nothing there. And
I would imagine that's a similar effect as the Berkey.
The Berkey's the same thing, I'm sure.
It's the same concept, I'm sure. Filtration system.
When you test it, though, I mean, we have a tester where we actually test the water, to make sure that the filter's on track and all like that. Once it starts to change, you change the filter. But I mean, it comes out. It is zero. I mean, it shows no impurities at all.
Sure.
Which is great. And again, we don't want to affect the taste of the bourbon.
But there's some people out there that like to go and buy limestone water from the areas where these things were distilled, right? And that's fine too if you want to do that. You can go online and buy them there. Lots of options out there. That's something you could do. That's fine.
Sure.
There are a lot of folks that really believe in that, and that's great. That's what it's all about. Everybody's got their own little method of doing it.
Now, do either one of you ever just drop a little cap full of water in there, or are you pretty much, if you're gonna use something, do you typically use ice, or do you ever use water?
It kind of depends for me. It kind of depends on the situation. We always talk about bourbon and how you drink it. A lot of, for me, is where I'm drinking it. If I'm going to be out by the fire and it's late at night and I got friends over, I may put an ice cube in there just to have something cooler and refreshing. If it's the dead of winter and we're out there hanging out, I may not put anything in there. Just kind of, for me, it's like depends on the location.
Yep,
it does.
It really does.
Yeah, and so I know Scotch drinkers. That's if you go over into Scotland and you're drinking Scotch there. That's one of the things they do is they will always show you that you put a little spoon of water into your Scotch before you drink it. I don't know that it's necessary with bourbon. I know it does change the flavor and the taste and even the smell of the bourbon. It's not something I do. I prefer to use ice. So if I'm going to put something else in there, I'm going to use ice. And it's just, again, and I vary from day to day thought process or week to week, whatever. I'll use a small cube sometimes. One of my small round cubes. Sometimes I'll use a larger cube. It just depends on my mood.
But you guys can kind of experiment with that and see which one you like, because there'll be one that you'll probably like better.
And if you have any thoughts, leave that down in the comments below. It's always cool to see what other people do. I mean, try different things and see what you like. So.
Yeah, I mean, you teach us something. That'd be great. Some new ideas.
We're here to learn, right?
Every day.
Always learning.
That's right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely.
Drink, enjoy, and share. Cheers.
Cheers, guys. It's better after it's sat. You notice that? It doesn't breathe.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
A red light means it's rolling.
Okay. Where's our action person? She's gone.
Here we go in 3, 2.
You didn't say 1. Well, maybe you should have talked about that before we started filming.
I prefer the element of surprise.
I know, that's what I like to do.
The element of surprise. All right, let's try this again.
Ready in 3, 2.